Hello and welcome back to Snowrunner Hard Mode. Thanks Wolfgang for your comments and suggestions. I will keep them in the back of my head and will come back to them when my day job allows it. With that in mind, I think I need to provide some context. This is why the video in the background is running in slow motion for a change, as the footage was recorded well in advance of editing this episode. This series is a playthrough in Hard Mode. Hard Mode, Elite, Veteran, difficult game modes in any game offer a more challenging gameplay compared to the normal and or easy mode. This requires at least a decent understanding of the game and its mechanics. This is why I'm not explaining every detail because, as harsh as it may sound, you should know that by now. But I offer to do a beginner tutorial and I will do it in the near future, maybe as a live stream on Twitch in the week before Christmas if my day job permits. Unfortunately, I have no community messages or other ways except my outdated streaming schedule on Twitch to communicate future plans. But back to this series. Yes, you might argue that I should just continue where Null Modem left, as this has been a one-to-one replay of his series. Yes, you are right, and in part, maybe you aren't. His series is over 2 years old and some things have changed since then. One example is the fuel consumption of the Fleet Star. It may be my driving style, but as it is more or less florid, it is very interesting to see that the Fleet Star in the identical configuration needs less fuel overall. I know because I compare. Yes, I am that kind of nerd. Secondly, tire grip and traction seem a tiny bit different as I don't see the need for all-wheel drive in every location as Null Modem did. In other places it seems I am struggling a bit more. Again, it could be because of my driving style, but the differences are there. Why do I show everything? Glad you ask, I'm happy to answer it. Hard mode is everything about resource and risk management. Your only resources are your trucks, upgrades, fuel and money. With the exclusion of DLC trucks, buying a quote-unquote better one is out of the question. This is why I got the upgrades before everything else in the first episode, to make life at least a little easier. The same applies to fuel. In hard mode, fuel costs money. So if I find fuel sources I can use for free, I will do that, and I will put my mobile fuel stations where they best suit my needs. Needless to say, you can still buy fuel, but it will hurt you a lot in the beginning as you need the money for important upgrades. With these questions out of the way, the returning viewer will still have noticed that this is not the position I parked my truck at the end of the last episode. I played it all again to this point. For some reason I managed to lose my save and Steam's cloud save messed things up even more, with duplicating trucks, restricting map access although I had been there, and not resetting vehicle positions. It was really a mess. So I started all over again. I kept the colors the same, but I installed the race suspension on the GMC and purchased the larger road tires. Except some different fuel levels and different account balance, all is the same. I just lost some 2+ hours of game time. Pro tip, don't use Steam Cloud Save for Snowrunner. You can Google the save location and do a local or your own cloud backup. Finally, it took only 652 words to get back to today's episode. In the last episode we managed to reach rank 4 and unlocked more upgrades for our Chevy or Scouts in general. In my normal playthrough I very much stuck to Black River for as long as possible. Going to another map this early in the game wasn't even on my horizon. As we parked the Chevy in town the last time we used it, we can continue from there to Smithville Dam. We don't need to head back to the garage in Black River as Smithville Dam offers a garage near the tunnel/entry point. Having arrived at the garage, I sell the 5.2 liter upgrade for the Chevy. Again, the fuel consumption is significantly higher and the Chevy has enough torque for its weight. It is more likely that the tires start spinning than the engine stalling. I install the race suspension to get more ground clearance and sell the stock one. With the race suspension I can install the 38-inch off-road tires that become available with level 4. And yes, even playing it again to restore my game, I managed to dent the Chevy a little. By the way, with the same amount of damage as in the quote-unquote original playthrough. I install the autonomous scout winch. It is expensive, but I will be able to try to recover the Chevy as long as a suitable winch point is in range. This also applies when I manage to flip over the Chevy and the engine stalls. The autonomous scout winch works with a dedicated battery. Installing the snorkel makes crossing bodies of water or rivers without damaging the engine easier. With rank 4 I get access to the trunk repair supplies. Looking at my account balance, 2,100 credits seem a bit much for only 50 repair points and a spare wheel. But I will install a different front bumper with fog lights to improve lighting in the night. This is an undiscovered map and I need to find a fuel source to avoid going back and forth between Black River and Smith Hill Dam. Starting straight across the garage we can find a path down the hill. In steep downhill sections like this, I use low gear and all-wheel drive to go slow and control the descent. The handbrake can be used to stabilize the Chevy even further, as it locks the rear wheels and keeps it facing the right way. At the bottom to the right we can unlock a watchtower. Turning left on the other side we can find another path we can follow downhill. Again, all-wheel drive, low gear and the handbrake are used to control the descent. At the bottom we do not cross the river but turn left and follow the shoreline. In the distance you can see a scout fuel trailer, offering much needed fuel for our operations. Try to stay away from the deep sand and don't go too fast, otherwise you will risk rolling over your truck. Ask me how I know. To recover the fuel trailer you do not need to go down to the water and attach it. It is better to winch it up. Of course we will accept the associated task in the process. We won't go back the same way we came. Instead we will go straight up the hill in front of us. Try to keep some momentum as the trailer can get stuck on the rocks. If you keep to the right it's a little easier. As I was speaking about torque, the Chevy has enough torque as the wheels are spinning. The 5.2 liter top engine wouldn't have been much of an advantage in this case. I try to avoid the deep mud on my way to the paved road. I park the trailer at the gas station. We can return it later to the house across the road and use the fuel ourselves for now. As we have seen, differential lock would have been helpful. Following the road, we can find exactly this upgrade. I turn right at the rock and with all-wheel drive and low gear, we follow the path down to the shoreline. Why do I use low gear when going downhill? Glad you ask. It's risk management. In case you need to accelerate, the Chevy can jump forward. On a bumpy trail like this can result in damage and or flipping the truck. Snowrunner is not about setting speed records, especially in hard mode. Getting there and getting there without damage is the goal. When going down to the upgrade location, try to go as perpendicular as possible to avoid flipping the truck. The same applies when going up again. Continuing the path instead of going back, we can find another Chevy. I always park the Chevy at the tree stump. It has done too much damage in the past not to do it. The other Chevy is damaged but drivable. It will occasionally jump out of gear, but we should be able to drive it up the path towards the gas station. And this is the moment I realized I forgot something. Of course, the road is blocked. I need to get back to Black River and fetch the Fleet Star. On the way to Smithville Dam, I get 2 times wooden planks as I need them there for another task, and we haven't discovered a sawmill or another location with wooden planks yet. my cell phone rang. Topping up fuel before we head to Smithville Dam. As we don't need the wooden planks right now, we leave them up the hill at the garage to be able to pick them up later. We can also find the required service spare parts just a bit further down the road. When going downhill towards the exit and/or gas station, don't go too fast or you will damage your suspension. Again, ask me how I know. After topping up, we head to the task location. Remember, the Fleetstar still has road tires mounted, but it does reasonably well even in rough terrain. When crossing the water, low gear and diff lock are the best option. If you need the winch, there are enough winch points available. I turn the truck around and put it on as even ground as possible in this location. I switch back to the damaged Chevy. Now the gearbox is really acting up, jumping out of gear at every opportunity it seems. In the end, I managed to get it to the Fleet Star. Towing another vehicle put both vehicles at risk of damaging them. This is why I am loading up the Chevy. Turning it around should put the weight of the engine on the rear axles. With the cargo secured, we head back to the garage. The Fleet Star is a lot more top heavy and the load in the back is not on the center line. As my mind was literally already further down the road, I moved left, which I would have done further down. Yeah, this was not the right spot for that. I was so lucky not to damage the Fleet Star. Additionally, this could have escalated to a major rescue operation. Luckily, the truck flipped all over and landed on its feet, so to speak. Now it is only getting the Chevy loaded again without flipping over again. And of course I had to take a screenshot. I wasn't quick enough on the button when it happened, so this had to do. Unfortunately, it kind of messed up the camera angles and it took another try to secure the Chevy. But now we are finally on our way back again, hopefully without any further adventures. Unloading the Chevy at the garage. We can use it to refuel the Fleet Star as we don't need the Chevy in the immediate future. Repairing the Chevy would cost us 1,500 credits I don't want to spend right now. I could sell the Chevy, but I'll keep it. Returning to the Fleet Star, it's time to take care of the roads and bridges. Remember, Opening roads and bridges should be one of the primary tasks on every map. Let's get some service spare parts to open the blocked road at the garage. With that road open, we can pick up the wooden planks and head for the next construction site. With that bridge taken care of, we have opened all roads on the Smithville Dam map. After that I needed a break and stopped recording. Understandable after flipping my main workhorse. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, consider giving it a like and subscribing to get a notification when the next episode goes up. That's it for now. See you next time.